Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, let's jump right into this. Picture this scenario for a second. Your phone rings in the middle of the night, and you get that dreaded call that someone you love has just been arrested up near Lake Tahoe. It's a moment of just absolute sheer panic, right? Your immediate first thought, well, right after making sure they're physically safe, is usually about the money and the logistics, like how much is this going to cost and how fast can we actually get them out? So today, our goal is to completely demystify the financial and logistical realities of the bail process, specifically in Placer County, helping you transform all that panic into a clear, actionable plan. It's literally the biggest question on everyone's mind in that high-stress moment. What actually happens right after an arrest? Look, I want to validate that the stress you'd feel in this situation is entirely normal, but understanding the first crucial steps of the legal system can provide some genuine peace of mind. Because when you know exactly what's coming next, you remove a massive amount of uncertainty during a crisis. So here's how we're going to navigate this together. All right, taking a quick look at our agenda for today. 1. The bail schedule explained. 2. Misdemeanor bail amounts. 3. The 10% premium. 4. Felony bail amounts. And 5. Exceptions and timing. Section 1. The bail schedule explained. So what exactly is this thing? Well, the Placer County Bail Schedule is an official document established by the Placer County Superior Court. You can basically think of it as a master price list that assigns a specific, predetermined bail amount to most criminal charges. Now, what's really brilliant about this whole system is the why behind it. It allows bail to be set consistently and, most importantly, super quickly for most arrests. This means a bondsman can get to work almost immediately right after the booking at the jail is complete. You aren't stuck waiting hours or even days for a judge to personally review the case. Section 2. Misdemeanor bail amounts. Let's establish the baseline costs for common, lower-level offenses in the area. For common misdemeanors near Lake Tahoe, the ranges definitely vary. You've got public intoxication and disorderly conduct sitting between $500 and $2,500. Then there's trespassing, which, as you can imagine, is pretty frequent around those private lakefront properties, and that ranges from $1,000 to $5,000 right alongside petty theft. Because these are lower-level offenses, keeping the initial baseline costs relatively low allows families to move really quickly to secure a release. However, when we look at more severe misdemeanors, the landscape definitely shifts. For a first offense DUI or simple assault, the amounts jump to a $5,000 to $10,000 baseline. Now, you might be wondering why the range? Well, because it depends heavily on the specific circumstances of the arrest. Take a DUI, for example. Factors like blood alcohol level or whether any property damage happened will dictate exactly where in that $5,000 to $10,000 range the final number actually lands. Section 3, the 10% premium. Okay, let's tackle the financial reality next, because those large baseline numbers we just talked about, that is usually not what a family actually pays out of pocket. The absolute crucial factor in all of this is the 10% rule. California law mandates a strict, non-refundable 10% premium on the total bail amount. And to be clear, this isn't a suggestion, it is the law. This premium is basically what you pay to compensate the bondsman for stepping in, posting the full bail amount to the court, and taking on that massive financial risk on your family's behalf while the whole case plays out. Let's see how this actually translates to real-world, out-of-pocket math. If the total bail for a petty theft is set at $3,500, your 10% premium cost is just $350. If it's a misdemeanor DUI set at $7,500, you pay $750. And even as we scale up to really serious charges, like a felony DUI with injury at $50,000, the rule holds perfectly steady. The out-of-pocket cost is exactly $5,000. Whether it's $350 or $10,000 for a residential burglary, that 10% rule never changes, regardless of the charge severity. It's totally consistent. Section 4. Felony bail amounts. Speaking of severity, we really need to explore the higher stakes involved when charges are classified as felonies around Lake Tahoe. Once you cross into felony territory, there is a massive leap in those schedule amounts. A charge like drug possession with intent to sell ranges from $20,000 all the way up to $100,000, depending on the type and quantity of the substance. First-degree residential burglary, that can easily push the bail from $50,000 to over $150,000. As you can see, the financial stakes change dramatically here. And for the absolute most severe felonies on the schedule, the numbers are frankly staggering. Felony domestic violence can reach $200,000. Robbery charges, which by the way are always felonies, carry some of the highest bail amounts on the entire board. They skyrocket up to $500,000 or more, and that's based entirely on the degree of the robbery and whether a weapon was involved in the incident.
Section 5. Exceptions and timing impacts.
Finally, we have to talk about the roadblocks, because as neat and organized as the bail schedule is, there are certain situations where it is completely thrown out the window. In this process, location directly dictates timing. If your loved one is eligible for a standard release, everything is handled super fast right at the Placer County Jail using that predetermined bail schedule we talked about. But if the charge triggers a delayed release, everything just halts. You can no longer just pay the scheduled amount. Instead, you're stuck waiting for a judge at the Placer County Superior Court to personally evaluate the case and set the bail during an arraignment. That change in location from the jail to the courthouse adds significant, stressful time to the process. So, who actually gets pulled off the schedule and forced to wait for a judge? Well, it includes the most serious and violent felony charges, weapons charges resulting in injury, and individuals with a history of failing to appear in court. But here's what's absolutely crucial for the Lake Tahoe area specifically. Out-of-state tourists who are arrested are frequently viewed as major flight risks. Why? Because they have way less incentive to stick around for future court dates. If you fall into any of these categories, the standard schedule doesn't apply at all, and a judge has to make the final call. Before making any fast decisions, it's so vital to remember that the schedule we've been reviewing today is really just a starting estimate. It's just meant to help your family financially prepare for what's coming. But the exact final numbers, those are always verified by professionals directly with the jail. You should literally never sign any paperwork or commit to a single thing until that exact figure is confirmed by the authorities. So what does this all mean for you? I want to leave you with this final thought. When a sudden crisis hits, adrenaline takes over, and logic often goes straight out the window. But understanding these precise out-of-pocket costs, knowing the stark difference between a fast jail release and a slow court arraignment, having that knowledge today is the absolute best way to protect your family from panic tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.